So here we go. The bookmarklet knows what day it is and what time it is.
We can't hear you, Caroline, but.
And we'll then name it accordingly. So, all right, so stand up. Quentin, what do you got?
All right, so I am just working through the 209A migration to AL document. It is time consuming, but it's going. I think I'm a little bit more than halfway through.
Are you refactoring as you go, or are you just moving it and then we'll refactor?
Just a teeny bit. So I'm taking out the preview and download screens that were never used for each individual form, because there's just the one big one for the whole package. And I'm getting rid of like the extra preview attachment block. And I decided to rename the internal attachment names, but I'm not renaming the files right now just because that's more hard to coordinate with multiple people. Yeah, I'm trying to just mostly touch the stuff that helps make it easier, but also not trying to keep the scope small, so it's easier to make sure it's correct.
All right.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Caroline?
I got stuck on this verb function method thing for more than one child. And I think once that gets solved, my branches are committed, and Michelle, on Friday you said, go ahead and commit your branch. So my branches are committed, I just haven't done a PR, and maybe that's what you meant. Or maybe you thought I wasn't committing, so I'm not quite sure. But
you said you hadn't committed.
Oh, I said I hadn't done a PR. Okay, so I haven't done I'm waiting to do the PR until that little piece is fixed. And I couldn't quite, I figured you could figure that out a lot faster than I can. And I think it's somewhere in the YAML, page 2 YAML. And that's why
Page 2, okay.
That's why I flagged you, Michelle, because you did all the stuff with all the different types of minor children there could possibly be. So, so the children as noun works.
If you have a link to the particular line, that'll help, but I can just look through page 2 and try and find it.
I'm not sure what line it is, because I know all of page 2 is about children. So, and I'm guessing it's on page 2.
I mean, which question doesn't show up correctly? Like the idea of the question, maybe that's in there. I'll look it up again.
I think yeah. You and I can talk about it if you want. Sure. But anyway, I just wanted to get that resolved, and then I'll do a PR for that. And then the next part of that would be the plaintiff confidential information form, where Kate, we decide we're going to have a separate contact pages for parent or guardian from minor plaintiff if there is a parent or guardian filing. And if there's an advocate filing for minor plaintiff, who do we make be contact?
That's getting into like gray areas where the court doesn't really want 209As without parent or guardian, and hopefully the advocate knows how to navigate it with their specific court.
So we'll just leave the plain old contact information. The advocate can fill it in how they want.
Let the advocate figure it out.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. Yeah, that's fine.
It's getting like mushy.
I've been mulling that conversation, that process since Friday, and I've just been thinking, I think she told me about it, but now I can't remember, and so I think I'll have to write that one down.
I mean,
okay, that makes sense.
The court's strong preference is for it to be a parent or guardian, but recognizing that sometimes you're getting it against a parent or guardian.
Exactly.
It's not always possible.
All right.
If Caroline is done, I was thinking, sorry, Sarah, I'm going to be very rude. Maybe Kate can go next since she has to go at 1 and sometimes we go over.
I don't think I had anything.
Oh, there you go.
So
perfect.
That's fine.
All right, then. Sarah, and I know you want to demo something at Teaching Tuesday, so.
Yep. So based on the feedback last week, I went through and made some changes to my form, specifically around language and the last 4 Social Security, like making sure that you can only submit 4 characters. I tried very hard to get in touch with a subject matter expert this week. I tried calling the SNAP benefits program. They really do not want to have me talk to a human. So I think my next effort is going to be emailing them. I really just need to know. So Caroline sent along the the SNAP guide, which was really helpful, but I just still don't know the date of birth field, whose date of birth they're asking for. So I just want that one question.
So Sarah, the new form doesn't ask for date of birth, I don't think.
Oh, cool. Let me
Yeah,
look at the
so
new
I
form.
thought that takes care of that problem. Yeah, so I don't think you
Great.
even have to chase that down.
Okay,
And
awesome.
I didn't get very far with the MLRI benefits advocates. No
That's okay.
surprise.
They really don't want to talk to people. I can confirm. I was like on hold for so long, and
No,
I went
they
through so
don't.
many menus.
They just don't.
They want to verify because then I tried a different number, but they wanted me to put in my
Oh,
my number,
you're
which
talking
makes
about DTA now. You're talking about
Yes.
DTA. You're not
Oh,
talking
yes.
about MLRI. No, right.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about legal aid. Maybe the thing to do is, so the answer that I got back from SMEs, so not DTA, but MLRI benefits people, is that they're not even requiring those they're not requiring the form during the pandemic right now, blah-de-blah. And they just totally misunderstood my request. And as usual, they don't have time for anything.
okay.
So I'm sorry, Sarah, it was really discouraging, but they're like, we're not doing that now. We don't care about it. You know, we hate you.
It is okay. I can continue.
I went down to the depths of depression, ate 7 pounds of chocolate. What can I say?
Don't worry. So
the benefits unit is not a unit I get along with very well at Mass Law Reform.
It is totally fine. I think that the short term goal is getting my form in a place to submit it for Quentin's class. And then
we might be able to get maybe somebody like Naomi at GBLS. Yeah. I mean, she's also a very negative person, but she's not always negative about everything. So she might be a good person to try. And the other person who might be really good, she's really busy, but she's great, is Quentin. Who is it? Is it? I can see her at Rosie's place.
Oh, Rosie. Jen Howard?
Jen Howard, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She might be good. And she's familiar with this project, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Where is
and
Jen
she's
Howard
really kind, and she
Rosie's place?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rosie's place?
she's the legal counsel at Rosie's place.
Mhm.
Okay,
I thought
awesome.
you worked with her.
I can
What I don't know
and-
is if she'll know about this specific form, but it's worth asking, and I'm sure she'd be happy to give.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she helps people get everything, or somebody at Rosie's place might.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
That's
reach out
very
to them.
true. Someone will at Rosie's place.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I can reach out.
So, Sarah, you feel like you're okay to not have an introduction? Just go jump in and say,
yeah.
Okay.
I can find
You
it.
could
As long
mention
as I
my
can
name
track
if
down.
you want, Sarah.
As long as I
I
can
worked with
track
her for
down
like
the
a year and a half.
email. Awesome. I'll
Yeah.
name drop you. All right.
But
Awesome.
I think that's the thing, is a lot of the social workers, I mean, you don't need so it's the DTA forms, you just need pretty much social workers who use them all the time rather than legal aid people.
I'll send you
Okay.
her email so you don't have to track it
Good
in.
with that.
All right, cool. That sounds like actionable items. And we look forward to seeing.
And
What do you wanna
was
show
I
us later?
supposed to check the plain language this week on your interview, Sarah, before this thing today?
Oh no, I was just gonna show
Okay.
what we have.
All right. Okay.
No worries.
We'll just
I
go
just
through
thought it was
and
one more
comment.
didn't do.
All right, then Michelle.
Stuff is good, reviewing stuff. My main frustration right now, which everyone for different reasons will think I'm crazy for saying this, but the tests that I'm running locally for the 209A aren't failing for different reasons than the tests that are failing online. And right now, I swear to God, it looks like the regex is executing differently. which is nuts. That's not a thing. So like, if someone has 5 minutes to take a look, I would appreciate some sane person's eye on it. Other than that, we're good with, did the review of the thing. Yeah, I think there's not much to report, just working on various things moving forward.
Cool. Bryce.
Sorry. Things are going well. Doing a lot of Tyler stuff. Just trying to understand all of these ramblings. There's just so many. It goes so deep. Like there are so many different types for different things, and everything has an ID. But I'm making progress. And then I was also trying to do some like early triage of a lot of the issues that we have open, just seeing if like we should focus on them or not, or whatever. Yeah, nothing blocking. So
Cool. Well, then I guess that's stand up. The one thing,
David,
Yep,
one
Michelle.
thing. I think I filled out the spreadsheet in the way that it should be filled out for the
Okay.
209A motion to modify.
I will look at that.
Okay.
All right, cool. And the one thing, just following on, I guess this is really should have been a management thing, but just to keep in people's minds, thinking about when we have the new cohort coming on in June, what things we might want to have them work on. So specifically, if you have forms, new forms. So old forms I want to go over, we want to have seasoned people move across the finish line, and new forms for new folks. Those would be things to think about. Just to put a bug in your ear.
Can I ask about the, we did talk at some point about this mapping thing. We were thinking some students would do. What happened with that?
I think it just didn't, our students working on it didn't get out of their other project quite, so yeah.
Okay, so it's still not going anywhere.
Well, it's sitting somewhere, but yeah,
sitting.
that is something that is so it's slowly going somewhere.
Okay, I just have this advocate who's like, not, you know, he's not, I mean, he's an advocate because attorneys are advocates, but he just emails me constantly. And so I just,
and
well,
the
did
emails
you
about
see Nicole Bradick's new thing?
I know, only $749 a month. I rest my case.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. I couldn't tell if it was
What is
exactly the
this?
same thing you're asking for or not, but okay.
No,
The price makes it totally different anyway.
I know, that was it. I looked at it, so forget that, you know,
Okay.
especially because
What is
it's
this?
a mapping
mapping
thing, for legal people. You could take your data, dump it in, it maps it. For the nonprofit or for-profit supporting advantageous price of $749 a month. I'm sure it's less expensive if you sign up for an annual subscription.
I think the idea there is like to help people with like class action lawsuits or something. So that would be like a drop in the bucket, but it makes it kind of different than a tool we could use.
Right. So
All right.
It makes me jealous, but you know what it is.
Well,
It might not be the exact right thing anyway, but so it may not matter.
So just one more little stand-up thing is I did get feedback for Quentin on the CRA motion to dismiss, and almost everybody loved it. Because the thing is, none of them have seen anything like it before. They're very open-minded. So they just had a few little things, right? I forwarded you all.
Yeah, that was great. I haven't put them in yet. I keep thinking, I'll look at it after I finish this migration. But they seem small. A lot of them are just unfortunately like DocAssembly things that are going to be or project-wide decisions that will be good to file away, but not quite ready to change them for just this form.
Right. No, I wouldn't worry about that. But just on the whole, they seem to be good. So that was really good news. Now we just have to get them to write the article.
Yeah.
Which should be
Well, actually,
pretty
so that means
easy.
that it might be ready to go live, I think, because none of them were MVP type feedback points. So maybe we should.
Oh, none of them? Okay.
I should look at it again and make sure that's the case.
Yeah,
But
double check.
yeah, some of them are like, why is there no back button? You just have this undo
Yeah.
button.
No,
What
no,
is
yeah.
that? Why is the
But
next button
overall, it was
not
positive
right?
stuff. So I thought that's
Yeah.
really exciting. Yeah.
Just things like, I think, actually, the next button being on the right-hand side of the screen, by Kate, that is something we should think about. A few people have mentioned that, and we don't have an issue to tracking that, but maybe we do want to do that. Usually buttons that you act on are on the right aligned instead of left aligned, and ours are DocAssembly's backwards for some reason. We should decide if we want to change that.
Well, people do
What's
tend to read
backwards?
left to right. It's not unreasonable to have them on the left.
No, I think that's true. Yeah, that's true. But I think just like a few people have commented that when they see the buttons coming to our interview fresh, right? Like I think for all of us, we're just used to it. They wonder why the next button is on the left instead of on the right. Or why it's left aligned rather than right aligned, at least.
Well, there's nothing that's right aligned, right? Except for the save your answers up at the top.
Right.
And I think the other thing is to remember to try and think in context who is saying that. Because again, when you talk about people reading English, they read left to right, and it's better. I mean, it's better to have a lot of text lined up on the left and in the center, for example. Center throws people. And also, when you do an email, the send button is always at the bottom. Not always, but for the most case. So what I'm saying is there's plenty of, I'm not arguing for it. I'm just saying it's not without reason to have it left aligned, even though some people may say they look for it on the right. That doesn't necessarily mean we should move it to the right.
That's a really good point. I'm going to write it down while I think about it, and I will write down your points too, because I think it could be that it's the more readable thing, even if it's not some people have expected. Good point.
Yeah.
All right then. I will